Hi there, welcome to my views and news with a special live chat session. Uh, this live chat session is all about questions and answers. Viewers can ask questions, one viewer, one question, but members can ask more than one questions too. I think we should do some Q&A sessions as well because in live chats, sometimes questions remain unanswered. We focus on new stories more. Such Q&A session should be open. Anyone can ask any question about any country in the Horn of Africa. Uh, you can write comments too. I'll respond to comments as well. But one viewer, one question. Let me greet the participants first, the members who have joined, then we'll get going. Abin Tube is the first member, first participant who commented today. Oh, welcome to you, Abin Tube, a new name for me. Shafo Well, a member, says hi. Shafo has been a member of this YouTube community, my views and news community for months. Special welcome to you, Shafo. Clips of Ethiopia says hello. Samuel Faleke says greetings, dear Sajid and viewers. Nahom Architect says good evening. Titam Ke Gide says welcome. Titam Ke Gide, a new name again. When I say new name, I mean those who are commenting. I can read only those people's names, so they are new for me. Maybe they have been attending, they have been participating in live chats, they've been watching me for months or years, but since they don't comment, I don't know. I only know those people who comment. That is how I get to know them. A name in Amharic. How competent do you think is Abiy? First question. Okay. Tamaskan Dinka says shalom. Yusuf Kabade says hello. Engisham Photo says hi, Sajid. Abiner Tube says Sajid, our beloved brother. Thank you, Abiner. Special thanks from me. Clips of Ethiopia. You said yesterday TDF is the stronger than Fano. When did I say that? I didn't say that. I did not compare TDF and Fano yesterday. Mitiko Duresa says hi. Amante Deso says hi. Lilo says, how can I be a member? Where are you, Lilo? Are you in Ethiopia? I don't think you can be a member if you're in Ethiopia because some countries don't allow YouTube membership. But if you live in an eligible country, just click the link given in the description section of this video, this live chat. Abdi Kareem Farah joined to a member. Special welcome to Abdi Kareem. John here. Elim Gizao joined to third member. How are you, Elim? Liz Elias from Tegara here. Sam says good evening from Sudan. Dark Star says hello. Ahmed Jama joined to Marcus Bellaccio. I'm fine, Marcus. How do you see Eritrean force reaction on the escalating conflicts of Fano? Abner is asking. Okay, I'll respond to it. Bilal Moshe joined to a member. Welcome, Bilal. Let me take the first comment. It was about Abiy, PM Abiy. How competent is he? Well, how do you analyze politicians? Abiy is a politician now. Yes, he served military too, but now he's a politician. He was a politician. He was member of Oromia, uh, Democratic Party, leader of Democratic Party, senior leader. He became prime minister. How do you rate a politician? Well, I uh, rate politicians according to their ability to resolve conflicts. I think he studied conflict as well. Conflict resolution is what he studied too. So, a politician studied conflict resolution. How did he resolve conflicts? Uh, through military means, with TPLF, with FANO, with OLA as well to some extent. Military means were adopted. People would say that the other parties were not showing flexibility, TPLF, FANO. That is why the Prime Minister had to resort to use of force. But you can only judge a politician according to his ability to resolve conflicts, to find solutions in difficult situations. A politician is basically a diplomat. He knows diplomacy. He believes in dialogue. He believes in genuine opposition. He believes in building a country with equal opportunities for people. I think I have said a lot. You can grade Abiy on what I said. So I don't rate him highly as a leader who is capable to resolve conflicts through dialogue, through reconciliation, through peaceful approaches. Second question, let me take. I did not talk about comparison between FANO and TDF. This was the second question. Third question is about Eritrean reaction. It was asked by Ahmed. Eritrean reaction on escalating conflict by FANO and ENDF. No reaction. Eritrea is not involved. Why should Eritrea be involved? I mean, already Ethiopians are fighting among themselves. Why should Eritrea just stick its neck out? Because if Eritrea intervenes in Ethiopia, Ethiopia would do the same. Ethiopia would back anti-Eritrean elements. Eritrea does not have any appetite for backing any party in Ethiopia. Why? Because Eritrea knows that they're already fighting. It does not need to intervene in support of FANO, etc. I think LM, I mentioned OLA and TDF. Someone commented that the largest armed group is in Oromia. I said, no, it's TDF. Then he said that, oh, I'm talking about Oromia Regional Forces. I said, that's not an armed group. I was comparing OLA and TDF in terms of numbers. Definitely TDF is larger than OLA. Did not talk about FANO. Tigray Valala question. Do you think that 2.3 million Tigrayan IDPs should be returned to their homes and livelihoods? Well, the number is it 2.3 million? Because I think the official number is around 1 million. That is what we have been told by Tigray authorities. And who would object to their return to their homes? Yes, they should return to their homes, but their return should not create another wave of IDPs. This is what is happening in southern zone. 50,000 displaced from there. Tigray is denying displacement. Tigray says that no, displaced from Amhara, from Raya are not actual residents of the area. Number is very low, very small, and Amharas are exaggerating it. though the number was shared by UNOCHA. Will UNOCHA make a correction? I have not seen a correction so far. So Tigrayans are denying the displacement of Amharas. Same could happen in Volga. By the way, uh, I talked to a few people. I've been monitoring, by the way, the uh, developments in Raya and Volga in recent days. What I can tell you is that in recent years, not recent years, after Amhara took control of Raya and Volga, were people settled here? Were people brought from Amhara to settle in Volkayat and Raya, Lamata, to change demographic balance? Did it happen? I'm sharing my information with you. What I have learned is that in Raya Lamata, people were not settled. But in Volkayat, people were settled. People were brought from outside, from Amhara region. They were settled there. Tigrayans were expelled. Ethnic cleansing was committed, not in terms of killings, but in terms of displacement. And some videos I remember when Amharas were being brought there into uh, Western zone. I could not find any large scale settling of people into Raya from Amhara. So when people say that those who have been displaced, thousands are not residents of Raya Lamata Forum, it does not make sense. But I agree, yes, Tigrayans have every right to return to their homes in both zones. Clips of Ethiopia, not just Fano, you said TDF is the strongest. No, I did not use the word strongest, I think. I said the largest, if I am not wrong. I was comparing numbers. Lilo, if you're in Ethiopia, you cannot be a member. You need to be outside Ethiopia. Now, Yusuf Kabbede's question, how do you think about talks between IMF and Ethiopia will end up? Is Ethiopia going to devalue birr? Talks could not turn into, it could not lead to an agreement. Talks still delayed. Ethiopia faced with a very tough decision. By the way, devaluation of birr is not an easy decision. It will cause a wave of inflation. Food prices will go up. People will suffer definitely. It's a very difficult decision, and IMF is demanding 60% of devaluation. Birr's 60% value devaluation is being demanded by IMF, which is a big decision. Talks could not reach an agreement, but the two sides still engaged. That is what I can say. Main reason for no agreement is birr, value of birr. Ethiopia ready to devalue it by 30 to 35 percent, around 10 to 20 birr. Like now, birr's official exchange rate is around 55 birr. Ethiopia ready to devalue it to 65 birr and then 75. But IMF wants birr to be devalued to 90 plus. 90 plus birr per $1. That is why talks still talks held, but no agreement. And by the way, talks were not just between IMF and Ethiopian delegation. Talks were held between US senior officials from the finance ministry and Ethiopian government officials too. Molly Fee was also there. If you know who Molly Fee is the head of East Africa Bureau of the US State Department, the most powerful American diplomat in East Africa is Molly Fee. She was also in Washington. She met there with Ahmed. And Ethiopian delegation requested US officials that US officials should ensure they should help Ethiopia in coming out of this crisis, and US should ask IMF and World Bank to approve packages for Ethiopia. And bilateral financial aid was also requested by Ethiopia from the US, but no agreement. Now, architects, who has better leading capability, Abiy or Biden? Obviously, no comparison. America is a much, much better democracy. We cannot compare that. Dark Star, what do you think? Fano has been more successful than Ola. Ola splintered nearly 5 years ago, while Fano rebelled a year ago. Fano has destabilized the entire Amhara region, while Ola hasn't achieved. Well, you asked a question and you answered it. Should I answer this question, Dark Star? Valdala says the government has been claiming that Amhara forces have been weakened and vice versa, but I haven't heard any large scale war. What do you think? My take is that Amhara forces have suffered losses. Their one senior commander killed too. Ethiopian military's ground operation achieved some targets. But by killing a few Fano fighters or Fano leaders, this resistance movement cannot be crushed. Why? There is an ideology behind this resistance movement. These Amhara Fano fighters have conviction that they are fighting to protect the interest of Amhara ethnic group. They're fighting to protect Ethiopian Orthodox religion, faith. So when you have this type of conviction in the minds of the members of an armed group, you can kill a few people. You cannot completely eliminate the group. So whether Fano fighters have suffered losses or not, Fano resistance movement, Fano as armed groups will continue. I said last year in June, July that the war will go on. Back then, it was just starting. Now a year has passed. Fano groups have come a long way. They are larger now, more battle hardened now, trying to get heavy weapons, long range weapons. They have managed to survive within 1 year. Yes, they lost one of their commanders. Still, South Gundarfano is fighting. So, conclusion is that you cannot crush. Ethiopian government cannot crush Fano fighters by killing a few Fano groups. Whether Fano is suffering losses. Same is the case with Ola too. They have an ideology as well. And despite operations spanning years, Ola is still a force to reckon with in the Oromia region. Uh, Ilu Muhammad is asking question about Sajid. He says, why are you interested in Ethiopian affairs while your own country is in poverty and in trouble? Well, you don't cover a country to pull it out of poverty or trouble. It isn't, it shouldn't be the purpose of your journalistic work. That is not what journalists do. They just report, they analyze as well. They're not leaders, they're not decision makers. So don't we should not see ourselves as if we are the game changers, as if we are the decision makers, as if we're the king makers. Journalists just report. Why am I covering Ethiopia? I was mainly interested in covering conflicts, wars. I covered Turkey-Syria war, Libyan civil war, Azerbaijan-Armenia war, then Ethiopian civil war. I was covering the war. I was not interested in covering other parts of the Ethiopian issues. But the war in Ethiopia was not just a security issue. Ethnicity was linked. Religion, to some extent, was linked. Politics was linked. So I had to study and cover all that. That is how I got more interest in learning about Ethiopia. This is why I'm covering. And if I have interest in covering Ethiopia, I think Ethiopians or others should appreciate that. I mean, we shouldn't be just interested in covering our own countries. Why is that Westerners study what is happening in Asia, in Africa, in other countries of Europe? Why? Obviously, it broadens your vision. It gives you more exposure. So nothing wrong with being interested in other countries' affairs. It's not intervention. It's not meddling with that country's affairs. If you want to understand it with an open mind, what is happening in the country. Chafo well said. It is being said that PP is forcing TDF to completely dismantle because Abiy and Isaias are to renew their arrangement agreement, and Abiy is showing a gesture to favor Isaias. What's your take on this? Let me read it once again. You're saying that PP is forcing TDF to completely dismantle because Abiy and Isaias are to renew their agreement. No, no. I can only say what I have learned or what I can analyze. I don't think that Abiy wants to disarm TDF because he wants to forge alliance with Eritrea. No, I don't think so. Abiy knows that one day such a large TDF could be a threat. Ideally, he would like to scale down the TDF's capabilities. I don't see Abiy Eritrea alliance. I could see Abiy TDF alliance against Eritrea, against Fon. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm not saying that Abiy is forming alliance with TDF against Eritrea. But if you talk about possibilities, I think Abiy TDF alliance against Eritrea is more possible than Abiy Eritrea alliance against Eritrea. On a list, what is the main strength PM Abiy which help him stay in power, and what is weakness of his opposition, Fano or TDF? Well, his main strength is that his opposition is not united. He is not. Should we give him credit for that, or should opposition be blamed? Imagine that TDF, Pano, Ola, all groups unite against the government. What will happen? It will be a nightmare for the government. But Fano is fighting about Amhara issues, Ola about Oromo issues, and ADF concerned with Tigray issues. So his strength is that opposition is split. The day these opposition groups somehow unite, Abiy will be deprived of his strength. But uh, for opposition to unite, it's very difficult because these groups, they're fighting for limited agendas, for limited objectives, which are specific to the ethnic group from which they are. Engeshom photo says, I remember your remarks last year that ISAS is going to focus in economy. Now, do you still believe that? Well, perhaps this is what is focus for him for the economy. Problem is that man does not know about the economy. He's still a guerrilla fighter. I appreciate his knowledge of the security situation, his analysis of the security scenarios. But when it comes to economy, his capabilities are very limited. Maybe that is what he can do best when it comes to economy. Nothing changed, by the way. I was hoping that after Pretoria, ISAS will make life easier for Eritreans, lifting some restrictions on youths uh, like the national service, which is indefinite, like the conscription, military conscription, uh, but nothing has changed. So, Raul Kamal, what is your opinion on Wollo being part of Northern Oromo nation? Well, it would be futile to talk about Wollo becoming part of Oromia. Amharas will demand Shoa. And if you make Wollo part of Oromia, can you ensure that Oromia will stay united? Maybe tomorrow, Shoa, Valega, RC will start fighting. You should not categorize regions according to ethnicity. That won't be uh, helpful for harmony in Ethiopia. And it is difficult to redraw borders now. Borders drawn, uh, you might not agree with the way borders have been drawn. I mean, the borders between Ethiopia and other countries within Ethiopia, but you'll have to accept the borders. Otherwise, it will lead to opening of a Pandora's box. All across Ethiopia, the conflicts are about boundaries. Afar Somali fighting just this week, they fought, killed each other. Tigray Amhara clashes, Raya, Lamata, Amhara, Benishangal Gumas, Amhara Oromia, etc., etc. So borders are a reality now. Redrawing of borders can only happen if there is comprehensive dialogue, long discussion involving all parties. Just saying that Wara should be part of Oromia, Wolkayat should be Amhara, or that Shoa should be part of Amhara, that won't be helpful for harmony, ethnic harmony in Ethiopia. Yamaskan joined to a member. He says there are thousands of Amhara militia that was trained inside Eritrea and they are in Eritrea. Would they be deployed to Volkayth? Well, I know one thing that Amhara militias were trained in Eritrea during the Tigray war. Are they still there? How many are there? I don't know. I don't know if thousands are there. If thousands are there, what are they waiting for? Because their comrades are dying, their comrades are fighting in Gojam, etc. And they're waiting just in Eritrea for a war to start in Volkayth. Does it make sense? No. Have you seen any incursions into Ethiopia from Eritrea, into Ethiopia through Sudan from Eritrea? Incursions of these militia members? I have not seen that. Had there been incursions, it would have been revealed. No incursions. I don't know how many are there in Eritrea? Lilu says, Sajid, we are hearing Colonel Demek Zadu agreed to disarm with ENDF. What do you think? Is it true? I don't know. I don't think he has agreed because, as I said 2 to 3 days ago, that militia training resumed in Humera and Volkait. Demek Zadu held some meetings, some virtual meetings too, with people in Amhara, people abroad as well. So I have no information that Demek Zadu has agreed. Maybe Demek Zadu has not been told to disarm. That is why so far he's silent. But the day he's told that he's going to be disarmed, his militia is going to be disarmed, and he'll be told to leave the area, maybe he'll rebel. But I think federal government has told the TPLF that a Raya-like situation won't be allowed to unfold in Humaira Volkaya Saga. The ENDF will be in charge there. ADF won't be allowed to enter Humaira Volkaya Saga. I believe that. ADF won't be allowed to enter to cross Takazi. If TDF enters Humaira Volkaya, then you can go to Humaira. By crossing Takazi, Demek Zadu, the militia will definitely fight. But if TDF does not enter, ENDF gives assurance to Demek Zadu that TDF won't enter. You can stay here. The militias can stay here, but you will be disarmed. What will he do? That's open to discussion. Too early to say what he will do. But so far, he has not been told to disarm. Darni, I think you're wrong. Are you saying the people who got displaced now were living in Raya under TPLF? Why would they flee from TPLF? Yeah, your comment makes sense. What you're saying is that they were already living under TPLF. Why are they scared now? It makes sense, but why did they flee? It was due to the atmosphere of fear created in southern zone. As I said, that ENDF used TDF to scare Amhara militia members. ENDF backed the entry of TDF. ENDF backed the entry of TDF to scare, to frighten Amhara militias, to frighten Amhara uh, transitional government, provisional government there. And that is why Amhara provisional government members, militia members, they fled. That they were being surrounded by TDF on all sides. When they fled, people also fled. And they told people to flee. While they said that TDF is coming, ENDF is helping TDF, you're going to be surrounded, you'll be killed. They fled. They fled because of the atmosphere of fear in Raya. Ahmed Jama, can you be a member when you are in Tennessee, in US? Yes, you can be a member from there. Click the link over in the description section of the video. Birhanu Eregavi. Mr. Sajid, do you trust Abiy will stay in power for longest? I don't know, but he is facing no challenge. Who is going to replace him now? How? He will complete his term unless there is some untoward incident. You never know about future, but he's strong. He's going strong, getting stronger, I think. Now, home architects, can ENDF press Fano movement successfully as it is doing now? I think I responded to it that the movement cannot be crushed. It's an ideological movement. For the movement to be crushed, Amhara people will have to be taken on board. Fano's narrative will have to be countered by the government. Uh, Government will have to take people of Amhara region on its side. So far, Fano has managed to spread its narrative very effectively in the region. Diaspora support also matters a lot for Fano. That is why you saw that Amhara Prosperity Party sent a delegation to the US. Why? Because main support of diaspora for Fano is coming from the US. And Amhara PP is requesting Amhara diaspora that they should not support Fano. It is destabilizing the Amhara region, destabilizing the country. So government is trying to now shift the narrative, but I don't think that Fano can be crushed militarily in coming days, weeks, or months. Varse says hi. Clips of Ethiopia. I think I responded to one question from you, if I'm not wrong. Do you think there is a bigger war coming in Ethiopia? No, no. I don't see any likelihood of TDF versus federal government. Unrest in Oromia going on for years. Unrest in Amhara is not a full scale war. It is more than an armed conflict, less than a war. Ye forte, Sajid, why do your sources give you information, then tell you not to divulge it to us? You know, the information, whenever information is given, there are two parts of the information: off record, on the record. Off record information cannot be shared. That is how we operate. And that just shows the trust which people have in us, that they share very secret information with us too, but that is off the record. We cannot share that. But on the record, part of the information is definitely to be shared. Carol Gotha is saying, give us detailed analysis of conflicts among and between major Fano factions in their power struggle. Well, I think the pro-government sources, pro-government media are trying to exaggerate this issue. I hear all day from an Ethiopian activist, pro-government, who claim that Skandar Naga and Zamina Kasi are bloodthirsty for each other. They want to kill each other. Fano consists of dozens of groups. If there are a few issues between one or two units, you cannot say that there are serious issues between Fano groups. I have been raising questions about the release of Zamin and Kas, if you remember. I have been talking about the silence of North Gondar Fano. I have spoken on that in scores of videos. Zamin Kasi was deliberately released by the government last year to create conflict between Zamin Kasi and Skandar Naga, because Skandar has taken, he had taken over Zamin Kasi's Fano group. Zamin Kasi was released, he retook his group. Skandar lost military significance in Goch. North Gondar Fano has not been fully on board with other Fano groups. Why? Because it was in touch with Prosperity Party, and it had some disagreements with other Fano groups. But I read a video this morning. Massafin, Haptewale, other Fano commanders have met, and they have agreed to form a central command on Gondar level. So there are issues, but we cannot say that Fano groups are. How many incidents of fighting in Fano have been reported so far? I think one or two in 1 year. If just one or two, three, four, or five incidents of infighting happen, Can you say that these Fano groups are fighting each other? Average Dom, if IMF talks fail, what do you expect Ethiopia to do? Well, either Ethiopia will have to find a donor to help Ethiopia from Middle East, or Ethiopia will have to agree to IMF's tough conditions. Maybe Ethiopia will agree if it does not get any relief from some Middle Eastern countries. Tigray, Valella, I think I responded to one question from you earlier. One person, one question, please. John Spencer, Sajid, is Tigray ordered to disarm by June? Will they adhere to? Will this cause more conflict? No, I think they agreed to disarmament in Pretoria deal. They were linking disarmament to the withdrawal of forces from disputed territories. One zone is under their control, other is not under their control. That is Western zone. I think that they'll partially disarm. You cannot disarm around 300,000 in a day. It will take months. So they'll agree to disarmament. Maybe a few thousand of 50,000, 100,000 will be disarmed. And in the meanwhile, they would like to retake Humera Volca as Sakale. They won't say no. Why? Because you saw statements from the US as well, which is still a key supporter of the TPLF. US and US, UK, and 5 other countries issued statements after what happened in Raya Lamata, and they demanded DDR, demobilization, disarmament, reintegration of Tigray fighters. Tigray cannot say no, but it will agree to disarmament of, I think, less than 1,000 starting from June. June, it's April, 2 months to go. During these 2 months, we could see some developments in Western zone. Samuel Falek, do you see a democratic, prosperous, peaceful, and united Ethiopia in the Horn of Africa in near future? Otherwise, no, I don't see a democratic, peaceful, united Ethiopia in coming days, weeks, or months. Since 2020, I've been saying one thing. Ethiopia needs a new start. It will have to bury the past. It will have to create new role models. It will have to start a new era. PM Abiy claims that he's coming to power with the start of a new era. His start was promising, but later I think he could not deliver. Now, once again, Ethiopia is in need of a new start. Otherwise, today's Ethiopia and 2018 Ethiopia, 2017 Ethiopia, what is the difference? Is Ethiopia more peaceful, more prosperous, more secure? No. Yes, Addis Ababa has changed. More skyscrapers there, more infrastructure projects there. But any change in the lives of people? No change, I think. I took your question, Average Dom. John Spencer as well, I took your question. Jirga, I covered this question a few minutes ago. Why you cover Ethiopia, he's saying. Darn I took your question as well. Valdala as well. Thank you, hi, for appreciating me. Mike says airport in Bahirdar is taken by Fano today. I don't know. Hi WG. Hi Sajid. Do you continue covering Ethiopia if peace prevails in the country? Why shouldn't I cover Ethiopia if peace prevails here? I think it would be better to cover Ethiopia if peace prevails. Because if there is improvement in the lives of people, if Ethiopia starts progressing, it would be better to cover Ethiopia. That is how we'll be able to learn more about Ethiopia and analyze the developments here. It's not about conflict that we are covering Ethiopia now. Thank you, Birhanu Eregawi. Chris Miza. Last question. I think 46 minutes apart. This is the longest engagement between me and you in the last few days. What is Eritrea's position on an independent Somaliland? Eritrea is against that. Eritrea is not supportive of an independent Somaliland. Question from Chris Miza. General truth, the nature can bring change in Eritrea. If Isas Savoki of Eritrea will die tomorrow, what will be his legacy? What did he achieve for Eritrea? Well, I wouldn't say Isas Savoki would die. Perhaps not appropriate to say that. Uh, Post Isas Savoki scenario can be discussed. Whether he's removed or whatever the reason is for his removal. Eritrea has no arrangement to replace or to find the next man if Isaiah Savaki goes. Who will be his successor? No one knows. What is Eritrean constitution position about that? We don't know. Opposition says that it will lead to chaos in Eritrea. The strongest institution will take power, will seize power. Will PFDJ seize power, which is in power, or the military, or tribal leaders, which are not very strong in Eritrea? It will be a tug of war between the military and PFDJ. Uh, his legacy can only be discussed after he's gone. So people should wait for that. S says, let me read the comment. Isas has achieved a lot. He imported a generator. It was 48 minutes apart. I think we should end this live chat session. It was the longest live chat session in the past few days. I think we should continue these Q&As as well, where people can ask questions and I can read comments too. Sometimes we should take a break from the usual news sharing too. Thank you for watching this live chat session. I tried to respond to as many questions as I could. I think several were left unanswered. My apologies. I'll be back with similar sessions in coming days. Maybe we can start these sessions on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday as well. You can give your suggestions in comment section. Sarah was planning some Q&As. She's busy with her studies. At the end of next month, she'll be free. Thank you for watching, viewers. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye.